with Gracie, like going on tour with her, I don't know. I just like her relationship with her fandom and at these shows, and also just like outside of shows, and how inclusive she makes it.
We're at the Audacy Soundspace at the Hard Rock Hotel, New York. This is your check-in with Role Model. And I was kind of leading up to this before we got on camera, but you and I, both New Englanders.
Yes.
Born and raised in Maine, right?
Yes.
So I had been wanting to ask someone from Maine this question for a long time. You know, Maine is really like a vacation destination for, I would say, not just East Coast people, but for a lot of the country. And do you think it's deserving of that?
It's a great question. I guess it depends how you look at it, because I know a lot of friends and people where I'm from in Maine.
Yeah.
Really don't like tourists.
Okay.
There's like, everyone has like bumper stickers, and
yeah.
People are pretty aggressive about anti-tourism in our hometown. But I don't know. I don't blame them. It is like, I say it all the time, but it's like the most beautiful place on the earth.
So you do think it's special though, huh?
I do. I agree.
Because I grew up in Connecticut, dude, and I'm like, the beaches in Connecticut are just as good as Maine. In my opinion, I'm like, why are people flocking to Maine when I do feel like there's parts of the Jersey Shore or Connecticut that are equally?
That's probably true. I have not been to, I don't know if I've been to any, I don't even know if I've been to Connecticut, to be honest, but like, I don't know.
You're not missing much. It's okay.
I don't know, but that's a great point. Like, why don't we push them down to the tourists, right. The tourism down to Connecticut?
Send them elsewhere.
Yeah.
No, but that's good. You do think it's special, because sometimes I think it takes a long time for people to come full circle and then find their hometown later on in life, find the charm of their hometown, you know?
For sure. I think everybody like kind of guards their hometown in a way. I'm sure LA natives, you know, feel the same way about me living there in the past 5 years, you know? I don't know.
Right. So you were dabbling in hip hop when you were first getting your start. Were you aware of the New England, like, hip hop scene with Sammy Adams, Apathy, Spose, Chris Webby? Were you?
That's funny. Spose was like our superstar, I think.
Right.
That was like the one person from Maine who was like on the radio, who had like a hit, a big YouTube music video. Like I feel like, I just remember me and my friends would run into him throughout our like high school and teen years, and would just like die and like roll the windows down and like scream and be like, "Spose, I love you!" And he was like a massive celebrity to us, which is so funny. He I guess that is like a Maine legend. And Sammy Adams, I don't know where he's from.
Boston.
Boston?
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. My sister was obsessed with him, had posters everywhere.
Yeah, he was a cutie. He was a heartthrob back in the day. Yes. He
was like a college Bieber.
Totally.
Like. Yeah.
That is very well put. All right, cool. So I love that Spose was a hometown hero, because you think of like what rappers were coming out of Maine. You're like, man, that's the dude. And the fact that he was still living there, that's really cool.
He was massive. He used to come into I worked at a barbershop for 2 summers, like doing the phones and the front desk.
Yeah.
And he came in, he was friends with the owner and everything, and so he'd come in, and I used to like ask for pictures with him and everything, and he was truly like a Maine legend. Yeah,
bro, we have to dig up those photos, do a carousel on Insta. That's a cool story, man. So you went through a few different name changes, and now we're here at Role Model. Are you content with this? Were there other runners up? Is another name change, coming?
No, I think I'm in too deep.
Okay.
It's a weird name to me. Like, I love my legal name, and in some ways I regret not just using my legal name.
You got to do a movie, and then I feel like that'll be the transition to your legal name, right?
That's a good idea. Yeah. And then I get to use that and still have... It's too late to throw out Role Model. Now I can't, Was
there a runner-up to Role Model, or?
No. No, I guess maybe my legal name. And
Yeah.
Didn't do it. I don't know.
It's funny. On Wikipedia, you are listed as bedroom pop. I don't even... do you know what that means? Can you explain it to me?
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like that was the whole first half of my career, was that word, bedroom pop.
Okay.
But it was like, that was the scene that I feel like I like made my way into when I first started making music under the name Role Model. And it was like the Claros, Gus Dapperton, Kuko.
Yeah.
There was this like very cool community of artists that were all kind of in this bedroom pop thing. And it was just like DIY, kind of lo-fi pop music.
Oh, so it comes from making it in your bedroom.
It's just DIY.
Not like sexy ass music where like we're playing it in the bedroom to like, you know, hope some result comes out of the...
Very misleading. Yeah.
Very misleading.
Also probably like the least sexual music ever. So it's, yeah. Bedroom pop is like, I don't know.
Okay. Cool. So when you were making the transition from hip hop to bedroom pop, was there any learning curve? Or, I mean, the formula seems similar. Was there any type of major difference for you?
I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I didn't have anyone around me or producers like guiding me in a studio setting ever in the beginning. And so like all this music, whether it was like hip hop before I was Role Model or the like bedroom pop indie stuff, was all me in a closet on my laptop, just like just figuring it out and like doing it what I thought was like the way to structure a song, whether it was or wasn't. And I've always said that was like my first EP, Arizona in the Summer, is still one of my favorite things because it was just, I think sometimes the best music or like art in general comes from people who don't know how to do it and
totally
just,
can't
like,
even read music or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's the best. Sometimes like the less you know and like the less resources you have, I feel like the quality sometimes ironically like goes up.
So lately, you know, you've aligned yourself with some cool people. You know, you've had run-ins with Julia Michaels, Gracie Abrams, just a lot of cool singer-songwriters. Have you gotten any piece of advice from anyone that you've formed a relationship with?
Advice?
Or something you've just learned like firsthand from being around someone?
With Gracie, like going on tour with her, I don't know. I just like her relationship with her fandom and at these shows and also just like outside of shows and how inclusive she makes it was something that I guess I kind of took notes on a little bit. Just getting to see her perform every night while I was on tour with her was like, yeah, I think I took like mental notes of just how she makes everyone like feel seen at her shows, no matter how big the venue is, or how many people there are. She makes everyone feel seen and like heard at her shows, and I think that's a very cool thing to take note of for me and my own shows.
Two things before we wrap. I actually just thought of this one. What's the best lobster roll you've had?
So I don't eat.
Wait, do you do it cold or hot?
I don't do it at all. I don't eat
this
seafood.
is we should end it right here.
We should. I don't eat seafood. I'm sorry.
Ever?
No, I've never.
I gotta get your mama here and ask her that question. So that brings me to my second question.
Okay.
Up to this point in your career, what moment do you think your mom is most proud of?
She just came on stage in Boston for my biggest. It was the last show of tour, but it was also happened to be like my biggest headline, and it was like technically a hometown show. And she came on stage for that, and we made her Sally at the end of the show, and I think that was like a very cool moment. Not just for her to see of me. It was like a cool thing to have together now, and she can. Yeah, it's more of like a memory thing, I think, that she's proud of.
Sure.
Yeah.
I love it, bro. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
Thank you.
Enjoy that video? See more interviews, more performances, and more of your favorite artists by subscribing and downloading the free Audacy app.